I'll stop at the stoplight. Light turned green, and I went to go, and my whole world shattered. Woman ran a red light at 68 miles an hour and hit my car door. The hinges were completely on the other side of me. I was completely encased in the door. And it took them close to an hour, if not an hour, to get me out. But it's what happened in between when that car hit me and when they got me out that is substantial, that started my belief in Jesus. Now, I wasn't looking for him. I was content to go on with the way my life was. But God wasn't content for me to do that. So, I remember the light turning green, putting my foot on the clutch, letting out, starting to go, and the next thing I knew, it was completely black. I mean, a darkness like you've never experienced on earth. Literally, you could not see your hand in front of your face. There was no time. There was only space. And I'm not talking spaces and stars. You just knew that darkness went on forever and there was no getting out of it. And I was so spiritually naive that I didn't even know enough to be afraid when I heard the voices. I know this sounds crazy to some of you, but there were 4 boys. I heard them. And they were like, "We got her, she's ours." And they're rubbing their hands together. And I remember their hands sounded like leather and sandpaper when they rubbed them. I just knew that's what they were doing. They were like, "Oh, we got her." I didn't know enough to be afraid. Next thing I knew, there was this presence behind me. And this arm came around and it wrapped around me. And then suddenly these 4 demons, which I didn't know they were demons, but they were in front of me. See, I was on my way to hell. I died. And by all rights and means, I should have gone. But they stopped dead in their tracks. And they're just staring at whatever's behind me, holding me. And I heard this voice. I felt it. You didn't hear it with your ears. You heard it with your entire being. And he didn't speak any louder than I'm speaking with you. And he wasn't angry. And he simply said, "You cannot have her. She never had a chance. Everyone gets a chance. And this one is hers." Wow. Next thing I knew, they're trying to protest, but they can't. They can't get the words out because they can't even bring themselves to argue with him. When the Bible says Jesus spoke, when he spoke, he was full of authority. You don't understand what that means until you feel it. You just know you don't argue with him. You don't want to. Next thing I knew, I was being placed in the ambulance, and they had a backboard under my hips. In excruciating pain.